the stop sign and I had no chance to stop. I may have lost a limb, but I've gained resilience. My name is Andre Coulter. Everybody calls me Dre. I'm 36 years old. So I was a little bit of a rambunctious youth back in the day, kind of all over the place and screaming and jumping on things. And so martial arts was really that discipline that kind of grounded me. It kind of really centered the development of my youth. And then I came into the opportunity to own and operate a kickboxing studio. And one morning I was with my girlfriend, now fiance. I had about maybe 15 minutes to get to this studio. Avid motorcycle rider, and I remember made a left at the stop sign and was going straight, maybe about 25 miles an hour, and I was T-boned on my right side by a driver that impeded the stop sign. And unfortunately, that's the only thing that I remember. And I woke up probably several hours later and realized that my life had been changed for forever. My body felt fine. Nothing hurt. My fiance was there and she said, you were in a motorcycle accident, and unfortunately, the injuries were, it was tragic enough where unfortunately we had to amputate your right arm. I had a TBI, it was called a traumatic brain injury. I tore my rotator cuff. I fractured both my scapulas. I really had no movement in my left arm. Definitely cried initially, hugged my fiance, gave her a kiss. She's been my rock, she's been there. And I said, okay, life's gotta move on. And I realized very quickly that, I had to adjust and all right, it's time to rehab and get back on my feet. For 33 years at the time, I had both extremities. Now I only have one. So it was very awkward. While I was in the hospital, I had a great physical therapist. His name is Eric. Eric pretty much did everything that he needed to get me to relearn how to walk. One of my biggest fears after the accident is that I wouldn't be able to get back to the Dre that I was. Is this gonna, hold me back from being the father that I always wanted? Is this gonna hold me back from working? So what kind of sparked my comeback and what kind of sparked me to, listen, I need to get back on my feet is, one day at a time. And I knew that, as long as I just remain consistent and as long as I remain true to who I am, I know I'll be able to get back there one day. So I think it's very important that I leaned on my faith to do so. Alphaline came into my life February 2022. I was on Facebook and I ran across one of the ads. Something just kind of drew me to it, and I'm like, let's give it a shot, why not? It felt like the right partnership that I needed at that time, and I've kind of been hooked ever since. My go-to Alphaline stack is the Burn 2.0 and the Night Burn. So some of the changes that I had to go through with my disability and working out with one arm, it's to modify, right? There were so many modifications that I needed to do when I worked out, whether it be really focusing on one side if I'm doing dumbbell presses, let's say just running on a treadmill, not having that movement and that motion of having my right arm to kind of help with swaying back and forth when you're running, it was different. The time it took me to really look in the mirror and to kind of feel like myself again, I would say it had to be about 15 to 16 months post-accident. I could now finally, after almost 2 years, now lift my left arm. For me, that was a small win for sure. Being able to finally lift my arm up again and be able to get back into doing more things athletically, whether it be kickboxing or, whether it be doing a shoulder press finally. I was probably almost 200 pounds. And I think for me, being able to use the Alphaline products, get back into a routine, I really started seeing results. Going down in weight, I'm getting back into the swing of things, my body's feeling a little bit better, and a lot of it was I'm getting healthier, so I'm able to do a little bit more and really challenge myself to get stronger. The weight that I was able to get back to is 155. I define my mental health as the driver in my life. Fitness is the anchor, and my faith is it's what I lean on. There was never a point where I wanted to give up. Never. When I look in the mirror, I'm more focused on the man I'm becoming, and I think I have so much more room to grow. This challenge, I embrace it. I never want to look at myself and my disability. I never want it to hold me back and never will. But I really look at this as a challenge, and I'm proud of the man I'm becoming because I feel like I'm just getting started. The dynamic of my relationship with my girlfriend at the time and now my fiance, it has shown me that we were meant to be together. So I always told myself, and I always told Kelly, that I want to be the father that I never have but always wanted. And I will be that for Austin. So it's exciting being able to look at him and obviously he's still young now, only 3 weeks, but being able to see some of his mannerisms and being able to teach him everything that I never received, it's exciting. I want people to look at you and look at us and our family and like, man, that was a nice person, respectful, but just, a good human. That's something I really want to instill in my son. So I think one of the biggest things that I'm proud of is to be able to compartmentalize everything that's happened and, show people that regardless of what you go through in life, that you have to move forward. Use me an example. Being superhuman means not giving excuses. It means being able to adjust on the fly, regardless of what's thrown at you, and showing others that regardless of my limitations, anything is truly possible. I may have lost a limb, but I've gained resilience.